Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Todd Rodden. I'm a certified executive and business coach. I own Aspire Action Coach based here in Southwest Ohio. I think you're going to love learning about this business today with Trayvon Bruch. He's one of the co-founders of Safewave Tech. They really are creating some unique and very important wearable devices, in particular serving the deaf community in our country and beyond. So that's some very important service and capabilities they're delivering. So if you're new to the Spotlight series, we're thrilled to have you. We encourage you to hit subscribe so you can receive future messages like you're going to hear from Trayvon today. So without further ado, Trevon Bruch, Safewave Technology, welcome to the Spotlight. We're thrilled to have you. Take a second, tell us a little bit more about the business and how'd you get started in wearables?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we appreciate you having us. Yeah, man, it's a crazy story. Essentially, was sleeping one day. I was awakened by a fire alarm, and that's kind of how we jumped into it in general. So yeah, man, was woken by a fire alarm. Just kind of asked myself, what do deaf individuals use in instances that they don't have sound? Didn't really find many options. Found a bed shaker and found a flashing light, all of which are stationary. They aren't mobile, able to move with you. And we figured, hey, let's just create this wireless waterproof solution and let it connect to not only fire alarms but everything. So essentially, create an ecosystem out of wearable haptics.
And so, where would people learn more about your products and services then?
Yeah, so we do have a website, safewavetech.com, where people can just learn more about what we do, who we are, what we're building, that type of thing.
And you mentioned you're one of the co-founders, right? You've got I think what three other partners. So how did you guys get organized around this, right? It sound like you woke up and had this idea, right, of due to an alarm, but
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it was crazy. So the first thing, I'm not a developer. I don't know how to write code, any of that stuff. I just know how to think of stuff that I feel is useful, right? So essentially, had this concept, like I said, how do you really go about building a wearable company? What is a wearable company? And so we had to learn some manufacturing. In which one of my partners, Brad, we brought him in. He ended up building out all the hardware in his basement, starting out ordering parts off of Amazon, figuring out what works best for us, and then obviously from there you try to find the manufacturing facility that fits best your needs. So we were fortunate to find a good manufacturer that was able to do everything from scratch all the way to doorstep. So building the boards out, inject molding, all that good stuff in one place. So we were very fortunate for that. Co-founder Brad, big round of applause to him. He was able to pull that off. Also got my right hand man, Jarrett. He's kind of the guy that keeps everything afloat in a sense. Handles everything that might slip everybody's mind while trying to do everything else. So I like the, he keeps the house tidy. He keeps everything, online on par, making sure everybody's really doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then our other teammate Bogdan, the third one, he's our software engineer, so he does the app side of things. So what's unique about Safewave is not only is it a hardware device, but as I mentioned earlier, it is that it's open network, meaning that it doesn't just connect to like doorbells, fire alarms, but it connects to doorbells, baby monitors, alarm clocks, things like that, and it's able to do that through our mobile application. So it's kind of like a software hardware combo. You got the wristband itself, which is the hardware tech, right, the wearable. But it also has the software component that works as kind of like a remote control for this. So, the mobile app, what Bogdan's building essentially is kind of like telling this, hey, this is what I want you to vibrate to, whether it's a Ring doorbell or a Blink doorbell, or a $80 VTech baby monitor or a $500 Outlet baby monitor, right? We give people the opportunity to kind of explore with their budget, but still being able to get the same type of alerts.
I'm curious in terms of your sales channels, do you sell direct to consumers or do you have other outlets?
No, so that's an awesome question. So we went to market last year, and the idea was just direct to consumer, right, through the website. So obviously, being at market now for about a year and a half, we've expanded that. So we sell direct to consumer right through the website, but also we have Amazon. We have a Walmart store that we're building out right now as well. So we will be selling on Walmart shortly. But we've also been working with a couple, B2B to C, so other distributors for us. So bulk buyers selling to businesses that then turn around and sell to like the VA or other programs, right? So we're starting to get into that channel, but also some B2B channels. So one of our recent customers, last year purchased was a hospital in Finland. So what they're doing is they're tying our product to a software that they use that helps the floor be more, I guess you can say, communicate better. Nurses are more effective, and they understand when there's more critical alerts come through based on this hardware component.
Oh, I love that idea, right? Because there's all those different machines and monitors in a hospital, right? And that helps connect them all together. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what I like. Our target customer is the deaf community, and we say that because it's like this is who we truly got the concept from and who to build it for. But realistically, this band is made for anybody that just needs critical alerts streamlined. So, a big, when we were thinking about building this, it's, a lot of it was just my text message feels the same coming through my phone as a fire alarm, as my baby monitor, as this, and this, right? So what we figured is that there probably are notifications that people feel are more important than other notifications, which are, your baby monitors. It's going to be, patients that need immediate assistance now. It's going to be the person that, has the mind of a 5-year-old that their caregiver's watching them because they try to run out the front door. They need that extra reassurance that a cell phone just might not give them. So I really think we're building like a product that really is going to be made for true alerting with all these different softwares that exist in today's world, right? I feel like a lot of tools have been built to help with things, but nothing's really been built to help get that thing's message across if it's important, if that makes sense. So we kind of lock in on just the alerts and give customers that open floor to just add whatever they want to it.
Okay. Yeah. And the open source allows to do that. So as you've been launching, okay, so you direct Amazon, adding Walmart, you got some B2B channels in the mix. What's been the marketing approaches that have borne the most fruit for you? Hmm.
Yeah, man. It's really that direct to consumer, man. You learn so much with it, right? So when we first went to market, and this is what I feel like a lot of startup founders, maybe I'm just less planned. I don't know. But when we first went to market, right, it was just like we're gonna post this post and we're gonna sell 1,000 units tonight. Like it's gonna be insane, right? And then it's like you're on month 3 and like you have one sale and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't really working, right? Like just screenshotting and saying we have this thing, it doesn't work. So the next thing we were just like, all right, so how do you really get in front of these communities? And the quickest way that we knew how in today's world is just influencers. So we're like, all right, let's reach out to a couple of deaf influencers. Let's see what's going on with influencer marketing. So we grabbed the deaf influencer. His name's Rocco. We ran a campaign with him. The first campaign we did, I think it ended up doing like 400,000 views, like 30,000 likes, and it was awesome. But at the time, our pricing model was like, $250 for the product and all of this other stuff. And basically people were responding like, I really need this for an alarm clock, but I'm not going to spend $250 on an alarm clock, right? So a lot of that just came with just, we learned a lot from the influencer marketing channel that I believe helped us get to where we are now. But a lot of it was direct consumer marketing using influencers. And believe it or not, the B2B channels, a lot of our sales and traction comes incoming. So like a couple years ago, we had a couple, bigger companies reach out to us. Fortune, I mean, it's probably one of the top 3 companies I don't know if I can say the name, but one of the top 3 companies in the all the globe, right? Came to us to help with fire emergencies. We weren't ready at that time. We weren't in market. But the idea is that a lot of things are incoming. So even when it comes to this hospital that we're serving in Finland, it came off of them asking ChatGPT for an open network wearable. And only thing they could find was the Safewave band, an Apple Watch, in which they threw the Apple Watch out because of the watch face. And then the third one, they said they couldn't remember the name of the company because it was just outdated, which I guess was good for us. So we ended up getting that traction. And really, that's how a lot of our, we're in 9 countries at this point. So we have customers in 9 countries. And majority of them came from ChatGPT prompts. So it was really, really interesting getting that kind of being like a sales channel for us, the organic kind of flow just the natural searching curiosity of our community.
Have you done anything special to uh, make it such that you kind of feed the AI algorithm so that you show up in those chat GPT searches?
We didn't directly like prompt it things, but I really do believe a key piece of that is because we use a lot of it to build our business. So with us, we don't have a board of directors, we don't have like mentors, we don't have anything like that. We really built this off of just a vision, pure grit, pure hustle, and true belief that we were doing something. And then, when people are telling us that, they rely on our product to wake them up when their baby's crying, or they rely on our product to wake them up so they can get to work on time. I think that's enough fuel to keep us going. So we didn't necessarily we didn't like prompt it, but we kind of like used it to build our company. And I think it was, to the point where ChatGPT knows who we are inside and out. And they
Yeah.
were able to just like refer our product because of how much information we fed to the system, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we worked on SEO without working on SEO, not meaning to work on
Well,
SEO, right? That type of
well, that's the
ability.
new
Yeah,
that's the
it's
new
been interesting.
SEO, man.
There you go. There
Right.
you go. Right. There you go.
So
So that's been very interesting, though. Yeah. So multiple countries like South Korea purchased because of ChatGPT prompts. We've had people in Germany, two people in Germany purchased because of ChatGPT prompts, and then Finland, we got probably 13 units out in Finland right now. So all through ChatGPT, right? So it's pretty cool.
so kind of, maybe you mentioned this already. So, but maybe share with us a past challenge that you and your co-founders had. What did you overcome, and what did you learn from that process?
Yeah, man. I think it's hard to pinpoint a lot of it, right? Because I think the whole journey is just a process of learning every day. I mean, right now, tomorrow, right? It's a process of learning. Some of the biggest challenges I think though were like when we first created this product. When you build a wearable device, we're at the time, I'm 24 years old. My co-founders are 23, 20. Like we're fresh, we're babies, right? The only experience we have is college campuses. Like we went to college. But yeah, man, I think some of the biggest challenges was like, how do I get this wristband to work with Google systems and Ring systems and Owlet systems without getting permission from any of these people? So when we first started building the project, we couldn't get our band to respond to like all of these other apps. Like we just so right then and there, we thought our dreams were crushed and we were never going to make it.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is how are we going to get it to connect everything? And then Google isn't going to give us their APIs. Like we're a startup out of Northern Kentucky. So I reached out to a developer friend of mine, and was like, hey man, this is the problem we're having. He shot over a message like an hour later from like a link to Apple. And basically my developer, I just took the link, sent it to my developer, and he messaged us back like an hour after that. I was like, hey guys, I figured it out. So that moment right there, we were like, all right, collaboration is the best thing in the world. Never be too afraid to ask somebody for help, even when you're at, your biggest challenges that you're experiencing, right? So that was a major challenge at first, but I think a lot of the biggest challenges comes down to just it's a mental game. Knowing what to do next is the hardest thing in the world. So just doing stuff until you figure out what it is that you truly need to do next might be one of the longest, like, challenging business mindset games in the world, right? Like every challenge feels like a challenge. It's so weird, right? No matter how big or small. And I just feel like any entrepreneur can relate to just the feeling of just always feeling something, some pressure from something, and you get over something. It's like you applaud a little bit, but something else is coming behind it. So, right, it's just it's always challenging, but it's good challenging. It's I'm not the same entrepreneur, don't have the same vision that I have for this company in 2019 that I do today, right? So I think it's just taking those lessons as you go, but just continually to know, like, all right, we're going to face more. I'm not going to know everything, like I said, today or tomorrow or the next day. Just um, keep that, man. The challenge is it's. I feel like I hear people always say, like, this is what you're going to miss. Once you get to where you're going, this is what you're truly going to miss about your journey is those challenges, and they shape you into somebody you never thought you'd be or could become.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
Yeah, great examples. Appreciate that. And the power of collaboration, as you said so well. So with that in mind, what's the current challenge that's in front of you that you're trying to figure out?
Yeah, so for the most part, we've always bootstrapped like majority of this company is bootstrapped. Our founders sold their houses like to make this happen, right? Sold a lot of stuff to make this happen. But um, our current challenge, we never raised before. So right now, what we're doing, we're finalizing our data room this week, which is awesome. But learning how to just raise capital, learning how to communicate what we're building in a way that people find is interesting enough. So just learning that now. We're just navigating how to talk to funders, angels, VCs, things like that. We've raised, about roughly about 130,000 or so. We're about 300,000 into this project. But all of it has been on like a whim in a sense, if that makes sense, just
Mhm.
believing in what we're building, who we are. So trying to take that to, a new venture world, showing where a lot of other things matter than things I was pitching prior, right? And now we kind of have that data with sales that we're able to kind of go in and build it up. But I think one of the biggest challenges right now would be, it would be building that network, based on, where I'm from, how I grew up, just really learning how to be around different groups of people, when it comes in the business world that have funds. But another one is just firmware and keeping up with tech, man, of course. So building a tech company, other challenges would be just keeping up with it. So like Apple released, a new update to their phone. Companies like us have to adjust. So one of the things that they messed with was like BLE, so Bluetooth functionality. Well, our product functions on Bluetooth. So we had to go back and fix a bunch of firmware. They created a bunch of junk for us to deal with. But we're going to get over it. We're going to keep pushing, and we'll get to the finish line.
Okay, great examples. You mean Apple doesn't take all their orders from you? Right?
Right?
Shocking. Shocking.
Come on, Apple. Come on.
Yeah. So what's your vision long term? Your dream for the business, you think down the road
Yeah.
many years?
Yeah, that's a great question too, man. So like right now we have the wristband software combo. This year we're building out a portal. As I mentioned, us going into these businesses, I, I plan on creating an entire ecosystem around haptic tech. So whether that's me using this for an alarm clock in the morning, right? Me getting into my car and it's able to connect to my car now that if somebody honks at me or a first emergency responder is passing with the lights on, this vibrates, it notifies me, hey, more awareness while I'm driving on the road. And then I stop, let's say at a store to grab some snacks before I go into the office, right? And when I walk into Kroger's or Publix, it asks me, hey, do you want to connect to our systems here? And Kroger's and Publix has their own smart eco whatever inside of their facility, all the way down to me getting back in my car, going to work, and my product connected in a work environment, right? I think we could build an entire ecosystem based on haptics for a group of 460 million people plus. Whether I'm going to the airport and I fly to California, I still have the same protection that I had when I was here in Kentucky, right? So building an ecosystem, like I said, around haptic tech, and then obviously on our side, the business side, it now becomes a powerhouse of data for a group of people who aren't being created for. So a lot of people can't pinpoint the exact tech that belongs to accessibility. I think we have built that in the sense that our product hits so many different people, right? Like people are using this to monitor glucose at night, to be alerted when their
Mhm.
glucose dropped at night, right? All the way down to the parent relying on it for their baby crying, all the way down to a nurse relying on it. So the use cases vary so much that I really believe we can build a full ecosystem that people can use this product how they want, when they want, right? And then build, like I said, a powerhouse of data from that, be able to actually truly create even better products, even more products. We got a couple more generations we're focused on, location tracking, two-way comms, things like that to essentially start, getting into dementia, Alzheimer's, special needs, small children, things like that. So we really, our main goal, in the next 5 to 7 years, we really want to be just a powerhouse, kind of the standout when it comes to just the most vulnerable of people that people really kind of, I don't want to say leave on the back burner, but they don't think about them as much as just general consumption. So yeah, that's kind of what we want to do, man. Is just be the voice for those people that kind of been overlooked and underserved in a sense, or second hand down of the tech. So that's what we plan on being in 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, no, I love that. And obviously, that's underserved communities who have some special needs and requirements. It's key to find solutions for them. So, uh, hey,
Absolutely.
Trevon, you talked about your co-founders, and it's not like you each kind of bring something unique to the table to kind of make everything fit together as a team. I'm curious, how do you, and you love collaboration. So how do you guys amongst yourselves kind of keep the team humming, keep collaborating?
Yeah, I think what it is like I think everybody knows kind of what they're good at, and we trust one another to kind of just all the way, just play your role, do it right. We're gonna get to the end, right? Obviously, when you're building this company, and like I said, there's four of us, all equity holders. We're not getting paid for this. We do this just because we truly believe in what we're doing. Sometimes you get veered off, right? Sometimes it's like, how do you keep people believing in something together for 6 years? Like that is a very tough thing to do, and I think you do that by just everybody being vulnerable with each other and trusting that everybody has good intentions with what we're building, right? Like nobody's that somebody might you might feel like somebody's slacking, but in reality they might not be. It might just be they're at a hard, rough patch of what they're there to do. And we
Mhm.
also realize once again, it's like we all respect each other in our spaces. So it's like even if somebody might not be performing to their standard, they're probably performing better than what your standard would be, right? So things like that, man, is just we always keep in mind, one another and realize that I think because of all the skin we have in the game too, it's like we built it together. We've all failed together. We've been shot down together. People told us that what we're building should be completely opposite. Like it should listen to things. It shouldn't just vibrate to other things. And all of us sit at the table and we're like, man, are we doing this wrong? Like, is this really what we should be building? And coming back in on the vision. So no, man, I think how we all manage it and how we all still believe in it, I think is just, it's the customers. Like at the end of the day, I think too, is like you work for 5 years, you launch a product and then people start validating what you're building. And you realize like, we spent $900 on marketing since we've been at market, right? And counting the US, we're in 10 countries. We're in a hospital and people are telling us that they're relying on our product. And people are telling us that like, you know, I tried the bed shaker with my first baby. I wish I had your product for my first one. I'm glad I have it for the second one. And these are like billion-dollar companies. It's like, how could you guys not be fired up? How could you guys not see that we're serving a true purpose here? And I really think that's what's kind of like keeps the team honed together and really grounded is that we truly feel families when they reach out to us. Like we jump on the phone with real customers, right? And they talk to us like thinking that we're just this tech company that's, doing phenomenal, crazy numbers and all these customers. And it's like, no, like we're really a small team that like built this from the basement up. And it's conversations like that. Just it validates us and it validates them enough to, I think, trust my judgment and just continue leading this team.
So now as you look back, you're 5, 6 years in, now in reflection, what have been your keys to success, or what do you wish you knew
Yeah.
then that you know now?
Yeah. I wish I knew how long it was going to take to build. How long it would take to build, right? But I think that if I would have, then like I might not have went on the journey. So,
Yeah, gone. Yep.
but right, but no. In all seriousness, no. When I look back, I think you know a lot of this is just I don't know if there's a lot I would change. Obviously, you like I said, I wish it didn't take as long, but it's like I think that builds us into who we were supposed to become. I don't know if there's a lot I would change. Obviously, I wish I knew a lot of stuff prior. Like, you know, I'm trying to even think of something that I think I should have knew because it's like it's once I think I'll go through it. The hardest things we ever went through, we learned from it, and we
Yeah.
put it instilled it in us so that it never happens again, right? So I don't know, man. That's a really good question. It's a tough question. I don't know if we really have it. I don't know if there's anything that I wish I would have known that I didn't know today. I wish there's stuff that I would know today that I don't know yet, right?
Oh, of
Uh,
course.
right? But yeah, man. For the most part, I don't really know if there's anything that um, outside of maybe some like how manufacturing really works. That might be how long molds really take, how expensive molds can be. Our first band that we created, it didn't have a power button on it, and for us to get a this little thing right there added, just that little tiny hump cost us like $7,000, like
Yeah.
little things like that. So I think just manufacturing, I wish we would have knew a little bit better. But outside of that, no, I think yeah, I think everything led us here for a reason, man. I everything that we didn't know, we now know, which is probably why I can't think of anything.
Yeah. So as we get close to wrapping up, our time flies in these conversations. What are the best ways for folks to learn more, connect and follow you and Safewave?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to Safewave, you can just go to our website, www.safewavetech.com. But also just we're on Instagram mostly, but Facebook as well. We're pretty active on there. Twitter, they all have the same handles. It's just at Safewave Tech. And then me myself, you could just find me on LinkedIn, just Trayvon Bruch. I'm the same on Instagram, Twitter, things like that, or email, just Trayvon Trevon at safewavetech.com. That's
Okay.
going to be the easiest, quickest way to reach me.
Okay. A lot of ways for folks to connect, encourage folks to check it out and get all that information in the notes below. So, Trayvon, as we wrap up here today, what are you inspired by?
Um, Man, I'm inspired. I get inspired by people that work their. I don't know, like I said, I'm saying people that work their ass off and get what they worked for. I'm inspired by anybody who's been told no that continues going and they make it to where they're going. Um, I'm inspired by people, man. That's the way to put it, I guess. I'm inspired by people. People doing things that other people thought weren't possible. That's what inspires me, man. People
Okay.
just keep going through the nose. Yeah.
Well, with that lens, you're clearly inspiring others, right? Really leading the way, much needed tools and capabilities, especially for those who are underserved. But obviously, your product has utility and value even beyond that target market as well. So, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. No, I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Trayvon Bruch of Safeway Technology. Thank you for joining us today on the Business Spotlight.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. And to our viewers, we're thrilled to have you join us. We encourage you hit the like button. That helps us share the message even more. And as I mentioned before, if you haven't already, subscribe so you can receive future messages, additional inspiration down the road, like you heard from Trayvon today. And with that, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you.